Hi there, my name's Aaron Short and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, if you're an Apple fan, stay tuned because I'm talking about the iPhone 11s today, which were just released. And if you're not an Apple fan, then maybe go and watch one of my other videos. Although I will be discussing cell phones for gigs and musicians in general today, so why not stay tuned, even if you don't like Apple. Who doesn't like Apple? I mean, once you get into their ecosystem, you're locked into it, which is a bad thing. But the good thing about that is, your gig calendars, your music, your files, everything's synced up in their cloud. It all works together. You can seamlessly access all of your data and supposedly it's very secure. So this is a great thing. This year's phones look very similar to last year's phones. In fact, they look from the front identical and from the back, well, this one looks like something out of Star Wars. And it's slightly heavier, but not enough to notice. Now, I'm not going to focus on every small update this year. Indeed, there were not very many of them. There were two that might be applicable to you as a musician or a YouTuber. The first one is the battery life. Supposedly on the biggest phone, the Pro Max, has 5 hours more battery. Now, that's a really useful thing. Why? Because sometimes you're running out of your apartment with 30% battery to a gig and you need to read your charts at the gig. I mean, yeah, always carry batteries, cables, power supplies with you. But it's never a bad thing to have great battery life on a phone. And I think Apple really outdid themselves this year. They've finally caught up to Android with that awesome battery life. I think they've done it with bigger batteries inside and also more efficient chips, which are their silicon chips are really very impressive, as we know. So that's the first thing I think is really great about the new phones. And the other thing, which is the most important thing, is the camera. Musicians now, streaming is so important. YouTubers are everywhere. We all want to be a YouTuber. So do I, so please subscribe. I mean, why wouldn't you when you've got this kind of power in your hand? Now, the new phone has 3 lenses. One problem with phones before is that they weren't wide, especially the iPhone, not wide angle enough. So the camera I'm using right now is a Sony DSLR. I'm looking straight into it. I'm pretty close to it, and you can see everything around me, all right? It's a wide angle lens. It's a very big lens. It's like this big and it's high quality. I've got lots of light, but it's a great low light 4K sensor. So that's really important for YouTube. Now, the problem with your iPhone is I often shot videos in this room. I had to put it all the way across the back of the room just to get me and the guitar, because the guitar is wide, in the shot. Now, that is not ideal. So this new phone actually has a wide angle sensor, and you'll see how impressive that is. Now, why do you need that? Again, if you're playing a wide instrument like a guitar, you need a wider shot. If you have musicians with you or interviewing someone, you need a wider shot. You can't just have the frame like this. You need a wide frame, okay? But you still want it to look good and not like a fisheye effect. So let me just show you this new phone. Like, first of all, how cool does it look with the included wallpaper and the dark mode enabled? It looks really awesome. Check this out. I apologize for the kitchen table, but I think this thing looks great. Now, you can get that wallpaper for your old iPhone. That's not exclusive to this phone. I just think it looks cool. I want to show that to you. Let me show you the most important thing. Let me show you examples of the camera. Because in the past, Apple will say, oh, the camera's twice as good. And you'll get it and you're like, still kind of sucks a little bit. But not this time. Let me show you the pictures I just took. Here's my cat, Harry. You've seen him before on the channel. Now, the first photograph was taken with my iPhone 10. Great camera, generally. But check it out. The light was off and that's how it looked. Blurry and just not good. Dark and blurry, right? Well, here's the new camera without any different settings, but the the low light mode enabled. I think it's all done with software. Check it out. How much better is that? It's still not as sharp as a regular photo in regular lighting, but it's really, really nice and so usable. So that's great. So it shows you what they're doing with software and hardware now. The cameras have been improved all over with software, and they're better cameras too. Now, there's still 4K 60 frames a second. That's better than my DSLR can do. That's really impressive, okay? So let me just show you one more thing with the photographs. Here's a selfie from the Selfie Camera. Because as a musician that works alone, it's very hard to frame yourself in a phone camera. You have to either use a watch or a second display. It's really hard. So we end up using that front-facing selfie camera, right? The problem is the old one was low quality, like 1080p. It was a bit blurry. and it wasn't wide enough at all. While this new camera is 4K and it is wider. Now it's not as good as the rear camera, but it's really, really good compared to last year's. Now check it out. The detail is better, and if you pinch out, you've got more of a view, more viewing angle too. So that's really great. So that's gonna be great for bloggers and people that film themselves playing. Right, now we'll go to the rear camera, and I want to show you a recording of me on the guitar using the old phone. I had to roughly frame it up, do a test video, make sure my body wasn't cropped out, and then film it. So it looks like this. Okay, so it looks pretty good, right? And it got me in the shot, to be fair, but it was fairly far away from me. Now, the new camera, you'll notice, is the same angle, of course, same viewing angle, but the colors are much better. So let's check that out. Okay, what did you think? Definitely a better picture, but that's not the end of this story. Now I'm going to engage the wide angle lens. Now you don't need a friend to frame you or check the frame. Now you just aim the camera roughly at the shot and it gets everything. It gets like the whole back wall in the picture. You can get your whole band now. If you just put the camera at the back of the room and roughly frame it and then go and play, you can get your whole band in the picture with no problem. Now, it's not as good a camera as the main camera, so if you're in a dark studio, it might not be quite good enough. You need a lot of light for this lens. But if you've got a lot of light in a room and you're recording a few friends playing the guitars, now you can get everyone in the shot. This is huge for YouTube and huge if you stream as well. Now you can stream your band easily, get everyone in the shot without having it miles away from you. Remember also, if the phone is closer to you, it's also easier to make adjustments. It's going to pick up the sound and audio better. So really great. Let's check that out. Okay, so I'm really impressed with those camera improvements. Now, I'm not going to say it will replace my DSLR because it won't. Again, the DSLR just takes video and photos and has a dedicated, huge, big lens on it, lets in loads of light. The only job it has is to capture that light. It's going to be a long time until we surpass it. I hope we do one day, though. But the iPhone now, if you're a musician or you've got a YouTube channel, if you want to live stream, real serious contender. Great tool, great accessory. Remember, it does all that other stuff too, like your song lyrics. And I've reviewed apps on my channel that work with a phone. I've got more to come, and I think that's the future in the far, not too distant future. We're not quite there yet. I think it will be coming. But as a YouTuber, what a great tool. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you got an iPhone 11, put it in the comments below. If you don't like Apple, don't write in the comments below. And if you think this is useful for YouTubers, then give me a thumbs up. But please do subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.